Today we're diving into the legendary rivalry between Shawn Michaels, known as the Heartbreak Kid, and The Undertaker, famously referred to as the Dead Man. The Undertaker represented consistency and tradition in the locker room, while Shawn Michaels was an unparalleled talent who brought a unique flair to his performances. Their encounters were exceptional because both men thrived on their chemistry. They needed each other to elevate their craft.
Weighing in at 320 pounds from Death Valley, I give you The Undertaker. Holy cow! Look at the size of that ham hock!
In the early 1990s, Mark Calloway was still in the process of defining what the Undertaker character truly was.
Nasty look. Tombstone City.
Though he had been given this larger-than-life persona, he was experimenting to find what resonated with audiences.
Look at his eyes! Look at his eyes! A man is possessed!
At first glance, you might think a character like The Undertaker would come off as overly cartoonish, a dead man competing in the ring. However, Mark portrayed him so effectively that it became not only believable, but also captivatingly eerie.
He did it so well and it was so convincing that, oh my gosh, this is cool creepy.
It's thundering, it's lightning! Yeah! It's The Undertaker!
When The Undertaker debuted, many wondered how sustainable this gimmick would be. After all, how long could a dead man remain relevant in the wrestling world?
What agility by the big guy!
As time went on, Mark began to peel back some layers of the Undertaker persona while still retaining key elements, allowing him to evolve into a more multifaceted sports entertainer.
The one and the only, the Phenom, it's The Undertaker!
Man, The Undertaker had an aura, and Mark had an aura, and that Undertaker persona was legit.
Mark's embodiment of this character was so powerful that fans transitioned from fear to admiration. They began to genuinely appreciate him.
Naturally, you just started to love him.
The most phenomenal athlete to ever step into the squared circle is finally champion.
He became known as one of the most extraordinary athletes ever to step into the squared circle. Throughout WWE's history, certain figures have been pivotal, and The Undertaker was undoubtedly one of those cornerstones. He bore the weight of both triumphs and challenges for many years. Stood out during their matches was how The Undertaker consistently pushed himself to match and exceed the performance level set by Shawn Michaels, who emerged as the defining wrestler of the 90s.
I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can. You're looking at the wrestler of the 90s, Shawn Michaels.
While Shawn may not have been the largest competitor, his in-ring abilities were unmatched when the bell rang.
What I do is go out there, thrill people beyond belief. There's only one Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels!
Shawn Michaels was truly a standout talent, an innovator in the ring who consistently pushed the boundaries of what was possible. His skills were so impressive that he could make even the most mundane opponent look captivating for a full half hour.
He's resilient. He's flamboyant. Look, all of these people are standing up. I haven't seen a reaction to anybody like this, I think, since the Beatles.
I'm always ready to rock the house. That is what I do for a living, big man.
During this time, Shawn was emerging as the face of the company, establishing himself as the top draw and the ultimate showstopper.
The fact that I'm a showstopper, the headliner, the main event.
But make no mistake about it, back then Shawn Michaels was a
I don't give a damn what anybody thinks of me.
However, it's important to recognize that back in those days, Shawn had a reputation for being quite difficult. He was unapologetically himself, often disregarding what others thought of him.
Mark and I didn't know each other very well, but we just figured what we knew we didn't like. You know, one of those, we just sort of agreed we didn't like each other, and that was it. You know, we didn't like each other's personalities, and clearly mine was easy to dislike.
I'm not the most popular guy in the World Wrestling Federation, but then again, I'm not looking to win any popularity contest.
Shawn's brashness made him easy to dislike. Despite their differences, there was no denying Shawn's exceptional talent. He consistently outperformed everyone else on the roster, and his abilities often overshadowed his less than stellar attitude.
I currently, right now, am not scheduled to be at SummerSlam. That's not my decision. Please allow me to just be a part of SummerSlam.
One pivotal moment came during a match where The Undertaker faced Bret Hart, with Shawn serving as the special guest referee. After a controversial finish that saw The Undertaker lose due to a chair shot, tensions escalated between the two.
Hadn't it been for you, The Undertaker might still be the World Wrestling Federation champion.
Shawn Michaels doesn't apologize to anybody or anything.
At that time, The Undertaker wouldn't have given Shawn the time of day if he had been in dire straits. Yet, despite their animosity, there was no one else he would rather face in the ring than Shawn Michaels.
The Undertaker against Shawn Michaels. First ever matchup here in Louisville.
I'd say this might be a bad time to be Shawn Michaels.
Their first encounter in Florida was highly anticipated. As they locked up, you could sense an undeniable chemistry. You could sense right away that this match would be a smooth ride, a true testament to their contrasting styles and abilities coming together in the squared circle. You wouldn't typically expect someone of The Undertaker's stature to be so agile, yet in this encounter, both competitors were elite performers, making their clash a real gift for fans. Shawn Michaels utilized every tactic available to him in order to escape what seemed like an inevitable defeat at the hands of The Undertaker. In this scenario, Hell in a Cell plays a pivotal role. Two warriors enter, but only one will emerge victorious.
The largest cage in the history of the World Wrestling Federation. There's one way in, one way out.
For me, that's like my version of Christmas. It's like, ooh, this is gonna be so much fun.
For Shawn, stepping into that structure was akin to receiving an early Christmas present. He relished the challenge. Aware of his smaller frame and the daunting task ahead, Shawn knew he had to navigate the situation carefully. And let me tell you, The Undertaker unleashed a relentless assault on him.
Just literally bounces off the casket.
This is truly hell in a cell for Shawn Michaels.
If there's one thing Shawn excels at, it's enduring punishment.
Michaels coming right back. Hold it! God, he just wiped out the cameraman.
However, whenever opportunities presented themselves, he seized them with vigor.
Wait a minute.
Though he may be down, he would always fight back fiercely, as Shawn attempted to evade The Undertaker's grasp. It became evident that their remarkable skills allowed any underlying tension to fade away when they performed for the audience.
Shawn's bleeding so badly that it's just coming down and hitting the lens of the camera, which was such a cool shot.
You could sense that this might be the end for Shawn Michaels. He was taking a severe beating. Then, out of nowhere, Kane made his entrance. The match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was nothing short of legendary. At one moment, I found myself hoping that Kane wouldn't interfere because the match was unfolding so brilliantly. And in my opinion, that remains the greatest match ever held within that structure.
Shawn Michaels has defeated The Undertaker. No, wait a minute. Kane has defeated The Undertaker.
Ultimately, Shawn Michaels triumphed over The Undertaker. Following that iconic encounter, Shawn and The Undertaker faced off again at the Royal Rumble in 1998 in a casket match.
One man must place his opponent in the casket and shut the lid.
The objective was simple. One competitor must place their opponent inside the casket and close the lid. They executed some incredibly memorable spots around the casket during this bout. As a heel, Shawn couldn't simply overpower someone larger than him without some form of assistance. It wouldn't serve his character well if he were to win outright.
The Undertaker refused to fight his brother Kane. But because of that, Kane started interfering in all of The Undertaker's matches.
Which often worked to Shawn's advantage. During this particular contest, there was a moment when The Undertaker tossed Shawn over the top rope. I believe Shawn was attempting to clear the large casket when disaster struck. He landed awkwardly on his back, resulting in a significant injury that ultimately sidelined him.
When he took that backdrop into the casket and blew his back out, he was done.
During Shawn Michaels' recovery, The Undertaker continued to enhance his legendary status with an undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
He has never lost at WrestleMania as The Undertaker.
Throughout his career, he never faced defeat at this marquee event.
I personally didn't even realize there was a streak until my 10th WrestleMania. So I was 10-0. It was in Toronto against Flair.
Now the Tombstone, no!
That's the first time that I acknowledge it in any way.
He's 10-0! 10-0!
As his streak became the stuff of legends, a familiar face returned to the wrestling scene. Shawn Michaels.
What an amazing, amazing athlete! He has had several life-changing experiences since his last match.
What an incredible athlete he is. Since his last match, he had undergone several transformative experiences. I knew he had managed to turn his life around, found faith, and made significant changes for my past behavior. It was a touching moment because my admiration for him as a performer evolved into genuine care for him as a person, which holds far more significance. Both Undertaker and Shawn were foundational figures during a pivotal era in WWE, helping to steer the company through challenging times. I believe they both took pride in that legacy. Years later, the chance to rekindle that connection became evident when they shared the ring again at the Royal Rumble.
And now it is time for the Royal Rumble match!
Once you go over the top rope and both hit the floor, you are eliminated.
They eliminated everyone until there was only 2 men left.
Wait a minute, Shawn Michaels back in the ring. Eliminated. That's eliminated. The champions are eliminated. We are down to 2 men.
One by one, participants were eliminated until only 2 remained.
The lights are on Friday. We got 2 legends that know how to finish people. Undertaker stood up. Shawn Michaels hit up. These 2 legends are face to face. One of these men is going to headline. How long's it been since we've seen this?
We all felt the anticipation. We wanted more of Shawn Michaels. It was a magical moment filled with possibility, and in that scenario, he had the perfect opponent. The atmosphere in the arena was electric as everyone felt the excitement building.
Here we go. Shawn Michaels eliminated that right there.
And then it becomes so obvious that I have to see. I have to see that match.
Is anybody that ought to face The Undertaker at the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania? You're looking at him.
The Undertaker had never managed to pin Shawn Michaels, making the prospect of a one-on-one showdown between them incredibly enticing. I could feel it in the air. Could Shawn Michaels be the one to end The Undertaker's streak? The thought of Mr. WrestleMania going up against the streak was thrilling.
Shawn Michaels, I accept your challenge for WrestleMania. You may be 16-0 at WrestleMania, but I am Mr. WrestleMania. I have never been outperformed on the grandest stage of them all, and I never will.
Do you realize just how remarkable Shawn Michaels is? His WrestleMania record stands at 6 wins and 11 losses. He faced defeats against legends like Razor Ramon, Diesel, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, and John Cena before his showdown with The Undertaker. Yet, he's still known as Mr. WrestleMania. When you reach that level of excellence, even losses tend to fade from memory.
You have never beaten me. And you never will.
It is game day for Mr. WrestleMania. And Mr. WrestleMania has his game face on.
For Mr. WrestleMania, he was fully focused. The burning question was whether Michaels could hand The Undertaker his first ever defeat at WrestleMania. I recognized the immense talent of both Shawn and The Undertaker, but I wasn't sure if they would replicate the magic they created back in '95 and '96.
The eyes of The Undertaker. Look at the eyes of Shawn Michaels. One is defiant. One set of eyes, destructive.
The strength of The Undertaker.
Michaels was physically hurled over the top turnbuckle.
And there's the fading in the injury. Trying to catch The Undertaker off guard.
Michaels unsteady there. Oh my God.
And that one slip, that one loss of balance may have cost Michaels.
During the match, The Undertaker took a risky tumble over the top rope and landed hard. For a moment, he seemed disoriented. As I watched him turn, I could see a mix of frustration and determination on his face. But I knew he'd be all right. The Undertaker's size is impressive, but it's his resilience that truly stands out. Who else could take such a fall and not only recover, but continue to compete in what many consider one of the greatest wrestling matches ever?
They got it! Michaels got it! That's it!
Michaels. His timing is better than perfect. He is confident in the thing that he can do well.
His timing is impeccable, and he exudes confidence in his abilities. From my perspective, there's been no decline in Shawn Michaels' performance whatsoever. Every hit he takes looks just as impactful as ever, and his comebacks are as quick as they've always been.
Tombstone! And a kick out! Undertaker! Here comes it coming! Michaels in midair! Michaels caught! Pile driver! That he was indeed Mr. WrestleMania. But The Undertaker proved that he is WrestleMania's phenom.
Undertaker firmly established himself as the phenom of the event. I vividly remember sitting there glued to the monitor, and as soon as the match concluded, I felt an overwhelming sense of satisfaction. I had just witnessed what could be regarded as the greatest wrestling match in history. As a fan of wrestling, what more could you possibly ask for? After WrestleMania 25, Shawn felt an overwhelming sense of tranquility. I vividly remember him turning to his wife and pondering, should I have wrapped it up there? The atmosphere was electric. The mask, the opponent, everything contributed to that moment. It had already touched on the topic of his retirement, and that mask seemed to solidify his decision. It was just a matter of reaching that point. At this stage in our careers, we had crafted something remarkable together. Although Shawn had resolved to retire, fans were still eager for another showdown between him and The Undertaker. Following their initial WrestleMania encounter,
You know something, Undertaker? It's you.
After the first WrestleMania match, I looked at both of them and I said, you know there's a return match here.
You and me. WrestleMania. One more time.
for Shawn, it was about making that choice, moving forward to the next match, and once again achieving that feeling of peace before stepping away for good.
You're on. I accept. On one condition. If I beat you, your career is over. If you defeat me, you end the streak. If I beat you, your career is over. If I can't beat you at WrestleMania, I have no career.
The stakes were significantly heightened with the streak versus career storyline.
You're on.
That added a layer of pressure, knowing you held the responsibility for the final match of someone as legendary as Shawn Michaels.
This has been my life for over 25 years. You think that I'd risk everything if I didn't know I could beat you?
One night, around 3 in the morning, inspiration struck Shawn. He suddenly woke up, rushed to the kitchen, and envisioned how the match should unfold. He wrote down all his ideas. For a final match, it needed to be something substantial, a masterpiece he could present as his farewell. In this profession, having another talented artist alongside you is essential. This is the spectacle and grandeur of the greatest live event in entertainment.
We'll open up the gates of hell, and I will unleash a fury that no mortal man has ever seen. To make sure, at WrestleMania, your career is over.
This is the glory, the grandeur of entertainment's greatest live event. Welcome to the 26th annual WrestleMania.
And welcome to the 26th annual WrestleMania. The Undertaker wanted Shawn to exit in a manner that honored his legacy. The pressure was immense for me. Compared to the previous match, the significance was clearly elevated. The challenge was to connect on an emotional level as the sun set and anticipation filled the air for Shawn Michaels.
As the sun sets in the era career of Shawn Michaels.
The very qualities that built him up and sustained him throughout his career would ultimately lead to his downfall. If he was going to make his exit, it would be on his own terms, defiantly. No one has come as close as Shawn Michaels did last year to defeating The Undertaker.
No one's ever come as close as Shawn Michaels did last year to defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
The way they crafted the storyline for the audience really highlighted Shawn's motivations in both encounters. In their second match, it felt much more like Shawn was fighting from behind, while in the first, he was more dominant and energetic.
The career of Shawn Michaels is over now! He kicked out! Shawn Michaels will not surrender! Shawn Michaels has no quit!
Shawn Michaels embodies resilience. I don't view these matches as separate events. They feel like one continuous narrative laid out for everyone to see.
Perhaps respect. Stay down!
And throughout the build-up to WrestleMania, Shawn was delivering a performance akin to Shakespeare. He wanted his final match to be poetic and representative of the Heartbreak Kid persona. Like a man.
The Undertaker is 18-0! Shawn Michaels' career is over.
The conclusion of Shawn Michaels' career is steeped in authenticity and genuine emotion. Is the fact that it ended at the hands of someone who was once considered his arch rival, but has since evolved into a figure of mutual respect and friendship. This blend of real life and wrestling makes it incredibly challenging to step away.
Shawn, it's over. Goodbye. And we'll miss you.
That's real life going on right there.
We were witnessing the end of an era with Shawn Michaels. In those moments, memories of his countless achievements flood back, and the reality of time running out becomes evident. Life often reflects what we experience in our profession, making it all the more poignant.
I think it's really happy that we ended up in such a great spot on the other side.
What we witnessed was unprecedented, and it's unlikely we will ever see anything quite like it again. We didn't need those matches to appreciate their greatness, but having them made everything even more special. Just think about what history would have lacked without their encounters, like missing out on Ali versus Frazier or Celtics versus Lakers. Those moments defined their respective sports when the spotlight shone its brightest.
These two legends are face to face. Did you see that? Oh, sweet chin music.
When these two legends stood face to face, it was a reminder that none of us reached the pinnacle of success alone. It's truly about our opponents as well. It remains authentic.
This is all real.
HBK, the showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels. I thank you for your friendship and for giving me one of the very best matches of my career.